Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for joining us this week on the CrossGen podcast. Make sure to visit our website, thecrossgenpodcast.captivate.fm, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS or any podcast platform so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, if you do find this show interesting and funny and awesome and things like that, please go ahead and give us a rating on iTunes or simply just tell a friend about the show. That would help us out. So now, let's get into the show. I am your host, Walt, and I'm joined by...
Darth AJ.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
Just Eli. Just Eli.
Just not Darth Eli.
Oh, that sounds
Or
bad.
Eli Sidious
That sounds
or
so
something like
bad.
this. If you're listening at home, or if you're listening into the car, or if you're listening to us on the phone, I think you can sense that there's a theme going on here.
Yes,
I could have called myself.
that's always gonna be how I do my introductions. It's always gonna be theme related. I will do it. It's gonna be my trope.
So we're going to be talking about merchandising.
I thought this was a crock pot episode. Are you guys
What's-
going behind my back
What's
now?
a crock pot? Where in the world did you get crock pot from?
Crock
What
pot.
are you, like 80 years old? What is this, a crock pot? Okay. A crock pot episode about merchandising.
No,
No,
I
it's
don't
like-
want to
Ewoks.
merchandise.
We're going to talk for like 30 plus minutes about Ewoks.
No, I think the term you
Salacious
were.
crumb.
I think what you were trying to get at was
Hordes.
stars.
Killer.
Base.
No, wars
It's the ultimate god.
Wars.
in the stars.
Star Trek.
I'm leaving.
Battlestar Galactica. Oh, wait.
Bears.
Beats.
Bears.
Battlestar Galactica. Is that what we're talking about?
I've left.
Ugh. Eli, you wanna help out here? What are we talking about?
Star Wars.
Thank you.
Star Wars.
Wait, okay.
I actually saw Star Wars in the movie theaters in 1977.
Yeah, because you're so old.
I wasn't getting to that. I wasn't trying to make that point. I was trying to say that I'm a super Star Wars fan. Not that I'm an old Star Wars fan. But you know what?
Just saying.
With age comes wisdom. With wisdom comes the Force, which you guys don't have. So that's all I'm going to say.
You have a point there.
So I've seen every single one of these movies in the movie theaters. Can you say the same? Can you say the same? That's all I'm asking. Eli, can you say the same? How many movies in the Star Wars universe have you seen in the movie theaters? I'll sit here and I'll wait. It doesn't take that long.
It's because he doesn't remember.
I know there was 4.
4?
4.
Well, technically,
well,
if you
yeah,
count
I
Han
guess.
Solo.
Yeah.
Oh, 5.
Oh, and Rogue One too.
6.
Sorry, what?
How 6?
So you have
Awakens.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One, Han Solo. What else?
Crickets.
5 then. That's still pretty close.
Is there one that I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing one.
Yeah,
now.
I feel like same here.
Like what?
What are we missing?
I don't know.
There's Kenobi, which everybody thought was going to be a movie and it ended up being
No,
a
I'm
series.
gonna search this.
Then there's The Mandalorian, which is a series that ended up being a series. Then there's Cassian Andor, which is a series that
No.
hasn't become a series yet.
Actually, I think that is it. It's 5.
Then there's the Boba Fett
No.
movie,
Which
that
will never
become-
happens.
That will never happen.
Will never happen.
And the Boba Fett series, which will never happen, and the Boba Fett appearance, which has happened for 5 seconds in The Mandalorian. But other than that, there really
Yeah.
hasn't been anything else in
Think
terms
your
of Star
cap is
Wars.
5 there, buddy.
There's one more. I'm pretty sure there's one more.
It's the one that he saw that nobody else saw. Is
The
it the
super
Darth Maul
special Lucas
YouTube?
edition.
Is it the Darth Maul YouTube thing that I showed you like a long time ago?
What is that?
You don't remember that? Where they did a live action Darth Maul. It was like a fan made film. Well, it's not even a film. It's like what, 10, 15 minutes long?
It's a fan made. It's a fan film.
Yeah, it's a fan film. It's like 10, 15 minutes long, and it's got Darth Maul killing like 3 Jedi. See, he knows what I'm talking about. And I've shown it to you like multiple times
But anyway,
because Darth Maul is the best by far.
Darth Star
Darth Vader.
Star Killer could like destroy him.
Darth Vader, really?
Yep.
Star Killer could destroy
Can
him.
Darth Vader couldn't even come back from getting electrocuted. Darth Maul got cut in half,
Yeah.
and it made him stronger. Now you tell me who's better.
Still Darth Vader, because even when he was in his prime, he survived being burned alive with only one limb intact.
Well, technically, Darth Vader was Darth Maul's replacement.
Yeah, that too.
Just
He
saying,
got
just
passed
saying.
up.
No,
Just saying.
And he got
No.
passed up double time too with Count
No, no,
Dooku.
no.
Oh, and 3 times with Asajj Ventress also. Oh, wait, and don't even get me started with General Grievous.
But what did Darth Maul do? Darth Maul went into the shadows and started up an entire mob gangster related thing and ended up becoming the ruler of the Mandalorians for a quick bit.
And didn't like Palpatine.
Although
I'll give you
although-
that, even though
although
he did get
wasn't
wiped with
directly the ruler,
Palpatine.
he had that other guy installed as
Yeah.
his puppet.
So he couldn't even be like the
Well, the
main dude.
reason he was doing it is because he couldn't be the leader of the Mandalorian.
Because
the
only a
Mandalorians.
Mandalorian can be
Right.
the
And
Mandalorian.
he had
leader.
that criminal enterprise. So, being
Death
being a leader of a country
Crimson
and
Dawn.
being a criminal really doesn't work. Well, unless, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into that. Moving on. So, Star Wars children,
Let's talk about the Star Wars Christmas special.
Never seen it.
we saw bits and pieces of it.
No, we saw. a lot
Oh
of it.
yeah.
Yes, we did saw bits and
How
pieces
long
of it.
was that? That felt like more than an hour. And it wasn't even
we only
done.
saw 15 minutes. No, okay, we saw a little bit more than that. We saw like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But it may have felt like an hour to you because of how cringy it was.
I mean,
But we found out that Chewbacca has a family and a kid, right?
Grandpa Baca like having his little trip. I
They have
remember
names.
that.
They have names. They have
God.
names. I will find out the names.
Scruffy or something like that.
Yeah.
Scruffy. Chewbacca family Christmas special. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. There's another Christmas special, by the way. You know that, right? So his father's name is Itchy.
Yeah, I know.
His
something like
wife's
that.
name is Mala. And his son, which is ironic because this is a podcast with a father and his 2 sons. His son is named Lumpy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lumpy from Kashyyyk. How great is that? So, I mean, that is pretty freaking awesome. Didn't they make Lumpy like canon recently?
I don't think so.
No.
I
they couldn't
thought
have.
they did.
No, but didn't like Star Wars disown this? They disowned holiday special.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
They
Well,
did.
a
That's-
lot of people thought that Lumpy was Supreme Leader Snoke because he is that powerful. So I mean, no, but he is canon. Hold on.
They
Yes.
disowned holiday special. They like literally didn't show it in like places and stuff. I don't remember.
He is.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
look at
because
that.
it's
look
like
at that
30
face.
years old.
Look at that face of Lumpy.
Join Vocal Plus to support
Oh
creators.
no. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Now, there you go. That's
Nope.
Lumpy.
No,
Lumpy
that's
is
not.
awesome.
No,
Lumpy
no,
is the
no.
best.
Not canon.
Lumpy is great. He's got that sheen and style, you know.
That's not lumpy. It's just
That actually is lumpy though.
See,
How?
he is
That's lumpy from the Christmas special. It
he
actually is.
He is canon.
that
He's
was
not
in the
canon.
but that
That
was in the
proves
holiday
nothing.
special.
He was in Aftermath, the books. Lumpy is canon.
What was? I'm
Aftermath,
sorry, but why?
Empire's End. He's canon. He's canon. That's also I
Can't
think the set
actually
of
argue
books.
with that.
His name is called Lumpawaru, but that's Lumpy. That's Lumpy.
See,
Lumpy is there. Lumpy is canon.
the infamous
That's also the-
1970.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to show it after it being like 50 years old.
The infamous 1978 holiday special that everyone involved has publicly disowned, and George Lucas never allowed to be released. It was disowned.
But it's on YouTube.
It was
can
only
watch
on
it.
YouTube, but they never released it anywhere else. That was
It was on
practically
TV.
non-existent.
It was on TV first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then after that, he like I guess he stopped releasing
He
it,
like, but you know what?
and they disowned it.
Isn't it funny that that's where Boba Fett came from?
It actually is.
Wait,
That's where he began.
That was his first appearance.
that's
Boba
not
Fett.
good.
Boba Fett was there, but he was as a cartoon, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Boba Fett came out of that holiday special. You have a couple of people you can mention that to. I think you know who I'm talking about, but you can mention that to a couple of people and they'll be thoroughly fascinated by that. So Lumpy is canon. Those books are also, mind you, the ones that tell the ultimate fate of Jar Jar Binks.
Yes, he's in on Naboo. Oh god, he's like a street performer or something
Yep.
like that.
Like a clown mime thingamabobber.
I feel
Yeah.
bad for him.
Like, and everyone practically blames him for like the Emperor's rise to power or something like that.
That's what the next movie
'Cause
should be. The
actually,
rise and fall of Jar
If
Jar Binks.
what you need to remember is that in episode 2, he actually motioned in Padme Amidala's place to basically say, I cast a vote of confidence for votes of confidence wasn't the first one. The second one dealt with giving him more powers, and that's where Jar Jar Binks comes into play.
I feel bad for him though.
The rise and fall of Jar Jar Binks.
Although I still hold dearly to the theory that he is Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis forever.
So if he's Darth Plagueis, then Lumpy is Emperor.
Nope,
Supreme
no.
Commander Slunk.
There's
There
a
you go.
difference. Jar Jar Binks was actually intended to be Darth Plagueis. They only
What?
shoot.
He's not. He's not the same species.
No. I kid you not.
Plagueis
Seriously.
is a mune or a mun or
In
something like that.
interviews with George Lucas, Jar Jar Binks was like the Yoda character from the original trilogy, only the bad guy. No, I'm being deathly serious.
Okay, AJ, if you say so.
I will pull up the interview.
No, and Lumpy is Snoke.
No.
That's a fact.
Totally.
No.
Illuminati confirmed.
No, stop.
I'm telling you. Okay, so let's say that Jar Jar, but he's not even the same species as Darth Plagueis.
That's why you have the body trend. That's where you originally get the body
Oh
transference
my gosh.
technique.
So he goes into Jar Jar Binks.
Yes. The same way Palpatine uses Snoke
Why
as a
though?
puppet
Why though?
Why Jar Jar Binks out of all people?
Oh, you know what?
to
Actually,
throw people off
Yeah,
his
yeah,
trail.
So
No,
him taking his tongue and throwing it into the energy coils of the pod racer, that was an elaborate ruse by Jar Jar Binks to throw everybody off the scent that he's Darth Plagueis.
Actually,
And they
yes.
couldn't talk like that because his tongue was so messed up. He had to talk like this. the
You
whole
want to
time.
know why? Because Qui-Gon and others said that. Oh, I don't remember the exact line
Wouldn't
of
they
thought.
have
but
sensed his midichlorians?
no,
The
because
force
like
power
Darth
coursing through
Sidious,
his veins?
he could cloak his presence.
But he couldn't cloak his tongue from those energy coils.
It was part of the ruse.
Okay.
I kid you. I have to find the video.
Misa say you crazy.
The point is, in episode 4, I mean, not episode 4, episode 5, Yoda comes off as really ditzy. Does he not?
No, he just seems like a wise
He-
old master.
Are you sure
Yoda
about that?
type.
When
He
you
looks like
first meet him,
He's a hermit
He's like a hermit, yeah.
but
he's-
you're
but-
not supposed to take him seriously at first.
because he's testing Luke.
Exactly.
So
But
who
this
is
man
Jar
is
Jar
like-
Binks testing?
Everybody.
The energy coils? Who is he testing?
He's
Yoda's
in deep
testing
cover.
Yoda's testing Luke to see if he's worthy of completing the training because he doesn't believe that Obi-Wan is correct in letting him continue his training because he thinks that Luke is you're too reckless. You're too much like his father. He's worried that Luke is going to be another Darth Vader. Is Jar Jar Binks doing the same?
Yes.
Is he worried that little Anakin is going to turn into a Darth Vader?
He was trying to garner his.
Oh, wait, he was.
Yes, he was. He was trying to become a role model in the same way Palpatine was.
A role model.
Yes.
Jar Jar Binks.
By
don't
setting
think-
a precedence for disobeying the Jedi.
I don't think anybody has ever used Jar Jar Binks and role model in the same sentence.
I will pull up the video. I swear
You
to
keep
God.
saying you're going to pull up this video, but you're not doing it.
Okay, fine.
There's no proof.
Doing it now.
It reminds me of somebody that keeps saying that something's happening, but has absolutely no proof. We're not going to get political. I'm sorry. Continue showing the video. He's looking for the video. Eli, what do you think? Is Jar Jar Binks Darth
Oh.
Plagueis?
Here's the thing.
Oh, well, no.
This,
He's Darth Plagieus, but he's using Jar Jar Binks to use a supernatural phrase as a meat suit, right?
No.
Like there's like a gazillion
why
other
him?
people that he
Why
could have
him?
used to, and so let me put it this way: Jar Jar Binks is
Here's why.
known-
Because remember, in the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, Sidious kills him in his sleep. But does he kill him? No, because he can transfer his essence from body to body. So he absolutely had to take Jar Jar Binks, possession of Jar Jar Binks.
He had to take Jar Jar Binks. So Jar
Had
Jar
to.
Binks. So Darth Sidious, aka the Emperor, aka Chancellor Palpatine, aka Shreve Palpatine, killed Darth Plagueis in his sleep. And the only other person that was next to him who just happened to be walking by was Jar Jar Binks. Darth Plagueis was hanging out in the Naboo Grand Hotel at the time. Wait, Jar Jar Binks lives in an underwater city. He must have been vacationing down there, right? Is that what it is?
That's the one. I think I have found it.
So
I
again,
need to review the video again, but
so,
I had
okay.
a friend of mine show me this.
Okay,
It
so-
is a thing.
Let's. So I think
Let's-
we've found the topic of this show, right?
Yeah. Let's
Is
draw a picture.
Jar Jar Binks Darth Plagueis? I think we've hit on the topic of the show. So the point is that we are saying that on Naboo
I'm drawing a picture.
he
here.
was Darth Plagueis came to visit his buddy Shreve Palpatine, right? And decided, you know what, I'm not going to hang out with you at the palace of Naboo because it may be imposing a little bit too much on you. So what I'll do is I'll go to the underwater city of the Gungans. There's a nice little
Well,
resort
remember
there,
he was
right?
banished too, so he wasn't
There's a
allowed there. So he'd be on the surface world.
So he's in a
Easier
hut.
accessibility.
So he's instead of doing the resort of Gungan, which has great beachfront property. Oh wait, it's in the water, so you don't even need the beach, right? He decides instead, you know what? I'm going to go and do a hostel and do an Airbnb to Jar Jar Binks' hut in the forest. I'll fall asleep there. Shreve finds out, decides to go to this Airbnb hut in the forest where Jar Jar Binks lives, murders Darth Plagueis in his sleep, and Jar Jar Binks is probably sleeping in the bunk bed above him, and he decides to go give his Force essence to Jar Jar Binks, and Jar Jar Binks becomes Darth Plagueis, right? That's what you're telling me.
I don't remember the specifics of
That's how I
how
see it, right?
I don't remember the specifics of how it came to be, but it was. I swear to God, it was George Lucas's actual intention to have Jar Jar Binks be Darth Plagueis.
George Lucas also gave us Ewoks. George Lucas also gave us Lumpy. George Lucas gave us Jar Jar Binks to begin with. As much as the creator George Lucas is good, he has his misses sometimes. So again, Airbnb Plagueis, Airbnb Jar Jar Binks. So I'm just saying. Okay. So okay, let's assume based on the video that I still haven't seen, but you say exists. Okay. Um, let's assume Jar Jar Binks is Darth Plagueis. How does this play out in the trilogy, in this prequel trilogy? How does this work?
Well, for
Because
one,
remember, Darth, I mean, Shreve Palpatine killed Plagueis
yes,
to enable the Jar Jar Binks thing to happen.
no, he didn't want that to happen.
No. But I'm saying because it's a cause and effect type of thing. Shreve kills Plagueis. Plagueis decides the only guy around in the vicinity is Jar Jar Binks. So in essence, Shreve created Jar Jar Binks. It's like Batman and the Joker. You created me, I created you. So, all right. So now Jar Jar Binks now Darth Plagueis is running around in a Jar Jar Binks meat suit. Continue.
So you also need to remember that the centralization of power in the Senate was also Plagueis' idea. So what is one of the things he starts to do in 2? Well, Jar Jar Binks goes and starts giving Palpatine that power. How this is where the disconnect starts to manifest because he obviously doesn't go through with it in 3. But the seeds really are there in 2 because in effect he is still carrying out the plan that they both were originally supposed to carry out.
So let me understand the plan that they were supposed to carry out.
They were still going to do Order 66. That's what I'm
Shreve,
trying to say.
I'm your superior. I'm the Sith Lord. You're my apprentice, Shreve. I want you to kill me.
No. That's not part of the plan.
Go into Jar Jar Binks, right?
God, no.
And then in episode 2, knowing that you're my murderer, I'm going to elevate you to power to become the Sith Lord that I was.
Killing him was
But-
not part of the plan.
But he killed them. So Jar Jar Binks or did Jar Jar Binks forget that Misa forgot that you killed me, right? So so Jar Jar Binks says Jar Jar Binks says, you know what? I'm gonna forgive you, Shreve. Become the Emperor. That's pretty cohesive thinking right there.
I'm not doing it any justice explaining it, mind you.
But you don't have to, because Jar Jar Binks is telling his murderer to take over the
But you know
the
what?
Sith presidency.
This
Right?
this actually honestly plays. This would have been woven greatly. I mean, greatly.
No, bigly. And then Jar Jar Binks says, Kofefe, right?
Look, if there was actually a feasible way you could tie this into
Okay,
the
please-
sequel
please
trilogy,
explain it to me then. Because
The
I'm
only
having
way
a
you-
hard time.
the only way you could justify him giving Palpatine all this power was to teach him a lesson. Because what happens ultimately in Episode 6? He fails and he dies himself, Palpatine.
And Jar Jar Binks is a street performer in Naboo. So he's completed his master plan.
Before that book even came out, if you discount that, if you discount that, that's why I liked the idea of Snoke being Darth Plagueis.
So he went. So Snoke ended up visiting Jar Jar in Naboo in his homeless little hut because he's a street performer, and he says, "You know what? I think I'm done with Jar Jar. Let me go into this guy who's totally scarred and disfigured.
You're
He's
still
better."
counting.
And he does a nice little 30-foot hologram to make himself
You're
look bad.
still counting a book that I am refusing to let enter the narrative.
It's canon, though.
That's why I said before the book came out, but whatever.
Okay. Okay, so Jar Jar. Okay, so let's forget that Jar Jar is not a street performer, because you don't like the fact that Jar Jar is a street performer.
No, I
Down on
don't
this, guys.
mind that, but in this particular, in the frameworks
It
of this,
doesn't- The Force doesn't work that way.
just forget it. No, never mind.
Okay, so Jar Jar Binks goes into Snoke.
Nah, I
And
think
then-
I've wasted too much energy on this. Honestly.
This works. We've got to figure out a way how to make this work, because
Yeah.
right now it doesn't. Because Jar Jar Binks is telling the guy that killed him to be the leader of the Sith people, when actuality it should be him, right? So okay, so let me put it to you this way: what does the video say? Explain the video. I need to
I
know.
haven't
the video.
seen the video in a while. That's why I'm having such a hard time
Is there like
explaining
a synopsis somewhere of the video?
Send it to me.
Like can somebody, is there like a thing that says, well, here's what the video says, but
I
in, like,
honestly
written
need
form?
to find the video again.
You can't even. So wait a second. You keep pointing at your phone saying this is the video, but you
I
haven't even
didn't
found
say
it yet.
that was the video. I said I was still looking for it.
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Okay, so there is no said video at this present moment in time.
It exists sometimes. I
Okay.
know this sounds like a crackpot conspiracy, but it is an actual thing out there.
Okay, so there is a supposed video which will outline the path of ascendancy for Darth Plagueis through Jar Jar Binks, which will then lead him to bigger and better and greater Sith things through Jar Jar Binks.
Looking back at it, I think the big problem that Lucas had with this particular idea is that how can you rationalize what's it?
Who's that?
Oh wait, no, because you know what? There is still a way you could do it, because they never mention the Emperor by name in the in episode not 4, 6, right?
They never mentioned his name, period, in any of the original trilogy movies. They just called him Emperor. It was in the books, I believe, that gave him the name of Palpatine. But in the
Before
movies
the
itself,
prequel movies?
huh?
Before the prequel movies?
Yes, he was Palpatine. Like we, the Star Wars fans knew that the Emperor was named Palpatine, but it was never said in the movies. It was set in the the expanded universe outside of the movies, and so that's where Palpatine came. We got Shreve through, I believe, the prequels, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Wait,
Like his
so did
first name.
Shri? No, did Palpatine? I'm talking about the name of
The name of
Palpatine.
Palpatine did
Came from the
exist.
books first, and then came to the prequels.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's
Because,
okay.
like I said, back before the prequels were even a thing, true Star Wars fans knew that the Emperor's real name was Palpatine.
Okay, what about his Sith name now? Was that
Sidious?
only drafted up until? Oh no, that they started that in episode 1, right?
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
that
so.
was.
Yeah.
I don't remember Sidious per se.
Because I very vaguely remember a scene where the banking, not the banking, the Trade Federation is talking with the Emperor in like a hologram, and he addresses him as Darth Sidious.
Okay.
So okay, then
Yeah.
that wouldn't have worked
It-
for what I was thinking.
It may have. You know what? There may be a thing that Darth Sidious was before the prequels. I don't remember too much, but it could be. But I'm not saying that yes or no. Either way.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So Darth Sidious.
Never mind then.
What was the thought?
No, I feel very tired all of a sudden.
Okay.
I think I'm done with this particular arc of the episode.
Well, how about we do this then? Okay, and this will be for our next podcast or what have you. This will be like a part 2 to this podcast. Is Jar Jar Binks Darth Plagueis?
Well, I mean, obviously that didn't come to pass.
But I want to explore it further.
Yeah.
Okay,
But you know what I need to do to explore it further?
the video.
I need the video. So why don't we do this? Why don't you? We're going to end this podcast now, because I think AJ is flustered from the way that this episode has gone, because Jar Jar Binks was hanging out in an Airbnb with stuff. So anyway, what we'll do is you're going to look for the video, the said video that has all this information. You're going to look for that unicorn. We'll find a unicorn.
And then we'll drive it into the sea with a big Red Bull.
With the big Red Bull. Oh, last unicorn. I like that.
Oh, that was good.
That was a good reference. I like that. So we'll take the video and we'll peel it like an onion.
Because onions have layers.
And I'm sure that this video, when you do find it sometime before the end of this year, it will have layers to it. And then we'll figure it out. We'll dissect it. We'll make sure that we reverse engineer any cloning techniques that were used and make sure that no animals were harmed in the process of doing it.
Yeah, we discovered donkeys don't have layers.
Yes. So
Ogres do.
but ogres do.
Yeah.
So
Ogres do.
so we'll take a look at the video, we'll dissect it, and we'll come back and rediscuss it and put a pin to the whole is Jar Jar Binks Darth Plagueis theory that's out there. What do you think? You think that's good?
Yep.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
All right then. So we're going to call this super fun episode to an end. How Jar Jar Binks? I mean, I'm still messing around with Jar Jar Binks and Darth Plagueis in my head. So
Wait, no. What did you say?
what? Who?
Are
Okay.
You not? No. Yeah, just end it.
AJ, you're gonna find the video for me, right?
And, like,
I am.
You're gonna look for the video, right?
I am.
As soon as I stop recording this, you're gonna look for it, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna look for it. We're gonna find this, and you're gonna help, Eli.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at the video and you're gonna dissect it like into pieces to find it. Make sure that we've got every
Every single.
every single piece of evidence laid out on the table, right? We're gonna work this. We're gonna be like detectives, like Sith detectives. Is that even such a thing?
Sith Inquisitors.
Ooh.
I like
we're
that.
Inquisitors. We need
So-
to find names.
Do I get like a fancy lightsaber while I'm looking at the evidence?
You can have the double bladed.
I'll do that. I like that. I like that.
And you?
I'll just have, I guess, Kylo Ren's saber.
Which we do have,
do have.
That's a solid choice.
and
Solid
you
choice.
have a Darth Vader. Excuse me. You have a Darth Vader blade, don't you? Do you still have that one? Or is it like
no,
in
that's
Lightsaber Hell?
Yeah, lightsaber hell is correct.
Okay.
Lightsaber hell is correct.
We're gonna have to work on that. So you know what? I gotta find it. So when I get my double bladed Inquisitor lightsaber, we'll look for your Darth Vader lightsaber and rescue it from lightsaber hell, or just get a brand new one.
Grip it tight and raise it from perdition.
There you go. All right. Anyway, we're gonna call it a night here, and from everyone here at the CrossGen podcast,
Let's do this. May
And-
our
may our
Our-
what?
paths cross again.
Ooh.
Oh,
Boom.
Yo.
I would drop the mic, but then the people that are listening to this podcast would be very upset when they hear it.
Nobody,
Boom. So
yeah, nobody would want.
anyway, peace out, people.
Bye.